Hello, today I'd like to share with you a few tips I found over the time of studying about African cichlids. What I found useful in helping our fish to breed. Today we stripped another female, the dragon blood or the firefish, of another batch of fry. Well, they're eggs at the moment. The first thing is a no-brainer really, you shouldn't be worried about it, it's water quality. I say you shouldn't be worried about it on the terms of breeding your African cichlids is because you should be worried about your water quality full stop if you're keeping fish. But without your water quality being perfect or near perfect, you're not going to get your cichlids to breed. Ideally you match their natural habitat of their lake they come from, so you're trying to mimic them conditions as best you can. So without your water you are not going to have any other success in the tips that I found. The second thing I found that helps your cichlids to breed is the ratios of males to females. Obviously in this tank we are not running high amounts of females to the males. We've got more yellow labs, and this is why we get more yellow lab fry, is because we've got more female yellow labs than we have males. We've only got one male, we've got 3 females, and we tend to find that we are having to let go of the yellow lab fry on a regular basis, letting her just spit them out in the tank because they're breeding more regularly. So it's the ratios of males to females. So obviously you have more females of that species to the male. This also helps create like stress relief on the holding female, because while the female's holding, the male will still pursue her if she's the only female in the tank. So if the male's got other females to pester, he's more likely to go and pester the other female, so relieving the holding female of being pursued day in, day out while she's carrying for 4 weeks. So the ratio of males to females is important in your success rate of the cichlids breeding. Another point to consider on the ratio of males to females is this is very hard to do in a peacock tank, or if you've got many male peacocks, because the female peacocks of different species are looking alike. So if you've got multiple females peacocks in your tank with multiple males, the males will not know which is their species of female, so you're going to find it difficult to actually get them to breed with the right female. If you're not bothered about hybrids, it's not a problem, but if you're going to pass these on, then it becomes a bit more of a problem unless the people know they're hybrids. So if you're going to sell a fish on and you don't know the father to the actual fish, you need to let them know this, because down the lines this could give you a bad reputation if people are buying hybrids from you and they want a purebred fish. So with peacocks, having multiple females in the tanks of different species, it's very hard for breeding peacocks to keep them certain species. It's best to breed them in separate tanks. The third thing is about your water change. I've often found when we're doing our water changes the day after, there's holding females. I also found a tip that when your water's drained, you allow it to stay drained for about 30 minutes, and then the spray bar splashing on top of the water. This is mimicking the rain season, and during the rain season there's a massive breeding that goes on throughout the lakes. Try and mimic rain conditions by allowing, when the water's dropped, allowing the water to splash for 30 minutes. And when you're filling your tank up, I also drop the temperature of the water by 2 degrees. Normally when I'm trying to get them to breed, I increase the water temperature to about 27 degrees, 28 degrees centigrade this is. And when I'm adding the water on the water changes, I'm dropping it to 25 degrees, so I'm dropping it 2 degrees centigrade. I'm not shocking the fish in, dropping it just to 2. If you try and drop it any more, then you will. But dropping the temperatures also simulating the rain conditions, because when the rain falls it's obviously colder than the lake. So this is also helping to stimulate their breeding process. And then another tip I've also found useful is your diet of the fish. If you provide them with a varied diet, and you also, if you're wanting them to breed, one day you'll really feed them up so the females are getting fat, because they hold for 4 weeks at a time, and they won't breed if they're skinny, because they won't make it through the 4 weeks with holding their eggs and frying them out. So give them a day where you're going to fatten them up. Also, it's known that if you feed them live food or frozen food, you often find that they go into a mating frenzy afterwards. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's just the rich fat content or nutrient content in the food. But feeding them a good diet and live food every now and again will help your cichlids to breed. Another thing that I found very useful on breeding cichlids, Malawi cichlids, is rocks. Plenty of rock spaces for the males to claim as their own. Malawi means rock dweller, so they love to be in and out of rocks. They'll generally build their spawning site. The male will dig holes around a rock. Yeah, they can dig outside of a rock, but majority of the time you'll find them digging holes around the entrance to a rock. So provide plenty of spaces for your cichlids to pick as a breeding spot. And also, like, flat rocks are good because the females can lay eggs and then pick the eggs up very easy. So that's a few tips that I found over the time of researching about breeding African cichlids that I found useful. I hope you can find them useful. If you know of any more breeding tips that I haven't put on there, please share them with me and share them with the others, and subscribe for future posts. Thank you for watching and have a good day.